welcome my fab fans to Glam's new video. I shall be doing another one of these. There's one left in the set after this one, which means I can move on to my next project within this category. Unfortunately, I don't film all of the diamond art that I actually do. And my reasoning is, I'm not in my house when I'm doing it. Yeah. Like right now, I have a few videos, editing. I have a video that's like processing after I edited it. But I do not film all of my diamond arts because I usually do them somewhere else as a form of relaxation and me wanting to be kind of left alone a little bit. When I babysit, my goal is mainly to make sure the child does not hurt himself and is fed. No, but also, there was this one point in time where I was on the phone with his mom, and I was like, dude, slow down a little bit, you're gonna choke. And she was like, he's probably really thirsty, he probably hasn't had water, like, since, like, this morning. And I'm like, he can still drink it, but he should slow down a little bit. We don't want him choking. But I also fully get the thirsty chug 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 of something. I'll do it even with like drinks that I don't like the flavor of when I'm thirsty after a day. So I get it, but also like when I saw that bottle go down, like, a few lines within under, like, a second or two, I'm like, you can still drink it, but, like, a little bit slower. Like, sips. Like, please. I did make him, like, 2 waters afterwards, because his mom finally told me how exactly much was necessary for him to still like the drink and drink it. Hi, game! Yeah, making sure a video is posted, that's useful. I'm actually into the next month when it comes to posting for long-range videos. luckily. Also with my art video, usually people expect me to fully finish the art piece. I didn't. The paper was dirty and it made me off-put, so I was just immediately like, no, I don't want to finish doing this. And also I started my period when I started drawing it, so my brain immediately was like, everything about you is a disgusting monster. Go to bed. I'm like, wow, thanks, brain. Can you just not? And it was like, no, sleep now. It still wants me to sleep. I am extremely tired right now. I'm still tired. So fucking tired. If anyone's ever dealt with, like, any form of mental issues, you probably fully understand how it's like, I don't want to deal with this right now. Also, I washed my hair. Why is my hair so much more curly when it's wet? Like, my hair when it's wet has full circle coils, but when it's dry, it's either straight or slightly wavy, rather than the full circle coils that it does when it's wet. Which means I'm not taking care of my hair right, but also I haven't washed it in so long, so it's probably entirely my fault for dehydrating my hair. I would say I would try a curly hair routine, but my hair is too thin for actual curly hair products. My hair is more thin because of how my genetics went. It decided thin hair, lots of hair, to the point where it looks like you have more hair than the average person, but also curls if taken care of properly. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Why did you give me every hair type all at once? Because why does some of my hair curl fully? Some of it only waves, and some of it's just perfectly straight. Back when I was fully, like, trying to get, like, a hair routine down. And it was just that in-between of, I'm gonna be every shape imaginable all at the same time. I am glad that my hair is clean though, and it did help boost my mood a little bit. Something I like to do is shop at, like, these, like, warehouse-style stores, like Burlington. Because they have the randomest shit. And I also like buying people Christmas presents about a year in advance. Like, I like to buy them at, like, the beginning of the year, in, like, January. Because that's when everything from last year went on sale. Where you're gonna get it really cheaply. There's this one brand that I keep finding, like, art supplies for called King's Art, I'm pretty sure. But every single time I've gotten markers from them, or any form of art supply from this brand, they've been really good, but I've never seen them in actual stores. I've only ever seen them in discount stores like Burlington. Which is confusing. Like, why do I only find them in these, like, back-end stores, not, like, regular stores? But they're some of the best art supplies I've ever gotten. So, I don't know. Because, like, their markers don't bleed through paper as easily as every other brand I've ever had. They're highly pigmented without the bleeding through the paper as easily as some of my more expensive markers. My most expensive markers are my master markers. They are on par with Copics, and what are the other brands? I can't remember. But they do bleed through paper, like most markers do. It's more rare to find a marker that doesn't bleed through paper than a marker that does, because even Crayola markers bleed through paper. They have like bullet nibs, they have chisel tips, and they have brush markers. But getting 120 markers only for about $10, pretty good deal. I think the most expensive King's Art thing I've gotten was also in a department store rather than online. And it was about $10 for about 10 pencils. It's about $1 a pencil. Which is pretty on par with the average pencils, but they blend smoothly and they're very pigmented and they're on par with Prismacolor. They're not as good as Prismacolor because Prismacolor blend a little bit better, as Prisma has more pigment. But the King's Art ones are also pretty good. I like how I'm talking about art supplies while doing diamond art, which diamond art doesn't even use any other kind of materials. There are so many E's on this one. Also, some of the best paint I've ever gotten is watercolor paint. Because it blends really nicely. It can be opaque or translucent, and it's really nice to paint with. So when I used to do paintings, I quite liked painting with watercolor opposed to acrylic, because most acrylic paints that I've ever had were thinner than watercolor, didn't blend as nicely, and were far cheaper. Acrylic is supposed to be able to paint over itself and become a completely new color. Which is why I kind of liked the acrylic paint, is for opaqueness. But when I started using watercolor, I realized it's somehow more opaque than the acrylic paint I used to use. But I also got some really shitty acrylic paints given to me. Because my mom was just like, I'll grab whatever. Art supplies are art supplies. And I'm like, no. No, they're not. This sketchbook that I have right here, I'm pretty sure it was about $30 when I bought it. It does have a lot of paper. It's 72 pages. I got it while it was on sale. But it sure as hell was not the cheapest option. I actually have a bigger version of that notebook, too, which was closer to $50 to $60. I could be wrong. I'm gonna look up the prices of these, because these are meant to be the cheaper, but like, still Kansan. Okay, so the smaller one was actually around $9. It's $7 right now because it's on sale. I think the $30 one was my bigger one. But I do also have a sketchbook that was closer to $70. Which is still wildly priced. But it was also for an art class. Oh yeah, 18 by 24 is closer to $30, which is still pretty big. But the one I needed for art was so much bigger than that, because I'm pretty sure the smaller number was the 24 inches. I like notebooks, but I used to do some really nice art. Oh my god. Okay, so no, it is 18 times 24, but you only get 30 pages for $30. That's wild. It's about $1 per page. There is another notebook in there. It is filled with a gray toned paper, and that's my most expensive one. There is more pages though, so it makes sense why it's more expensive. But it's also meant for sketching, like with charcoals, since it can hold more charcoal. Something I realized with one of my art teachers, though, was she was like, she realized I was really good at copying down and, like, had shape down and stuff and, like, dimensions. And she was just like, draw harder. Darken your work. Be more intense. Her only complaint with my artwork was that I'm so light-handed. That was her biggest issue with me, was that I'm light-handed and I do not go very hard on the paper. Do you ever just, like, breathe and then all of a sudden you taste blood? I know exactly what brand she's holding with paint. I am watching an art video. I know exactly what brand of art surprise she's holding, and she's like, the brushes are so good, the paint must be good. And I'm pretty sure she's gonna get underwhelmed by the paint because it's gonna be a little sheer. Which I've had problems with that brand before. Ah, yes, the streakiness in the green. The thing is, if you have streaky, sheer paint, you can fix it by adding cornstarch. If you want textured paint, add baking soda or baking powder. It will make the paint foam up. Ha, I knew it. She's complaining about them being transparent. God, I've had that issue with that paint set before, and I hated it so much. I was like, this is such a good deal. No, it's not. $20 for 40 shitty paints is a reasonable price. Because good paint usually costs a lot more. I think the most expensive paint tube I only have one expensive paint from this collection, and it's for one specific art project of a book I wrote. If you did not listen to my voiceover of the story, I wrote this story, and it was based off of a theme of a black book, but I did not know what a black book meant at the time, so I took the term black book very literally. And wrote it kind of like a rendition of Death Note, where you find a notebook and it can do this magical, cool thing. This one was a book of fate. It can tell you the future, depending on what you choose. You can change your fate by choosing a different option. And the Book of Fate was created by a demon for his wife, and every so often, she loses her memories, and he has to go back and find her. If I was to rewrite this story, I would write it way longer than originally. I would add more details, extend it. But I was trying to keep it within a word limit for a contest. I know I'm not a bad writer, but I know that I don't get a lot of concepts like the average person. see how fast I can get through this one, despite being completely distracted for a few minutes to show off my notebooks and talk about other shit. I mean, I can hope I can get far. Also, I feel bad for people who don't use seasonings. You're missing out. Also, one of my coworkers thought cayenne pepper was spicy. And we were just looking at her like, honey, no, it's just a flavoring. It helps with anti-inflammatory. Cayenne pepper is usually paired with spicy things, like actual peppers and stuff, but it isn't spicy itself. Cayenne pepper is not spicy by itself. And if you think cayenne pepper is spicy by itself, you might be allergic to it. Probably shouldn't continue eating it if it is spicy. That's actually a good way to indicate whether something is like an allergic reaction, like a minor one, is if you find it numbs your mouth or becomes spicy when it's not something that's spicy. Like me and black pepper. I can eat California Reapers without crying or like having to fan out my mouth. They don't burn me that much. They're not the spiciest to me. But black pepper makes me cry. It swells up my face and it burns so bad. And it makes my throat itch so much. If it's a very tiny amount of black pepper and I can't taste it, all it does is make my throat itch. But if it's a lot of black pepper, it does a lot worse. The more, the worse it gets. And the more symptoms I get. Which is unfortunate. It is very common for people to use black pepper in food. I still remember going to a fancy restaurant, though, and getting some free food. Like, we got our drinks paid for and our dessert paid for. That was really nice. Next time I'll actually try dressing a bit better. Like, because I was not dressed nice for a nice place, and my mom took me to a nice place without saying I was going to one. Which is a little embarrassing, you know? I wasn't really presentable. But I did share the name of the restaurant in my community tab. It is a local spot within my hometown. So if you do want to try their amazing food, it might be a little higher end, might be a little more pricey, but it is worth it. Because eating out is meant to be something you do on a leisure thing. Like, you do it once in a while to, like, enjoy yourself, have some fun. It's a place that you'd go on a date on. It's a nice place. I went with my mother because, well, I don't date, but, it's a nice concept. I will say, though, one thing I grew up on and I've always loved since I was very, very little is lobster. Something that I will take my friends to when they get to Rhode Island. One of the places I plan to is a seafood place. They will have surf and turf, which means you can have seafood and regular food, like steak and stuff if they really want. But I'm personally gonna go for the lobster roll because that's my favorite. There's this one restaurant I went to, though, where there was a lobster burger, where there was a lobster claw, a burger, and I'm like, that is so expensive for one item. But I didn't want to order it, primarily because my mom invited her boyfriend and would only choose an expensive restaurant. And it made me so uncomfortable, because I'm like, Mom, no. It doesn't matter if he's Native American and has money. Can we go to somewhere that's reasonable? It makes me uncomfortable when my mom dates rich men and then only will take them to expensive places. It doesn't matter. Do you see the way he dresses? He clearly wants to go to somewhere like Burger King. He looks like a chill dude, not like someone who wants to go out to a really nice place. So that's how uncomfortable I am every time my mom dates someone, is stop bringing me out to nice, expensive places. This man is nice, but you're treating him like he doesn't know what he's talking about. Especially when it comes to his own health, which makes me look at where I get my personality traits from sometimes, and I'm like, yeah, always remember to bring your meds with you, sir. But also, we both yelled at him to buckle up at the same time in the same tone, and he was like, oh my god, it sounded like the echo of my ancestors. And I was you could hear the shakiness of the whole car, and our voices echo and sound like each other's. Because I get my voice from my mother. But that was really funny. The sir felt so attacked because he didn't want to wear a seatbelt. And we were like, you better fucking wear a seatbelt. That's the one really big thing that I've never wanted anyone to go against, was wearing seatbelts. Even before I learned how to drive, my first thing to do when getting in a car is buckle up, bitch. Also, something I realized I do, unintentionally, is I'll have 2 full conversations at the same time. One with myself and one with another person. And it will get lost in translation so fast. Because I was talking to Zawa of like, please don't set the this on fire, and then my controls weren't working, and I said, bitch. Immediately after. I kept saying bitch throughout the entirety of playing Minecraft with my friends. One about a pedophile, and the rest of the times at my fucking controls, because using keyboard for video games is hard. Why do people do it? There's so many better ways, like a controller. I liked using controllers. I grew up on the controllers. Like, Zawa, I promise, I did not call you a bitch. Also, an issue I've been having is, I've been trying to get things sent to my P.O. box by some of my fans, and I've opened it up for people to send me things, and it hasn't been fully working for one of them. And I'm like, please let me know if you're having any difficulty. I will see what's up with the post office and see if I need to upgrade the box. As it's getting a little annoying now that only one of the items that was sent to me currently has been like fully sent, which means it did work once. And it was one of the last things he sent out of all of, like, the things that was sent to me. And I'm like, is it the fact that, like, it's my gamer tag and not my actual name, or is it something else? But the thing is, I've never had a problem getting things sent to my P.O. box or my address with my gamer tag. My gamer tag is directly connected to my email. Everything comes sent to me as my gamer tag. I am always glamer, even when I'm not online or filming. I think the only time I'm not fully glamer and just Drea is when I'm at work. Because all my coworkers, they just say Drea. Because that's what I'm called. When I made my YouTube channel, Glamer Drea, which my online account for Minecraft is actually Glamer Girl, not Glamer, because at the time I didn't know that I saw myself differently than others. I'm not fully masculine, not fully feminine. I've always been the in-between of all of those things. Like my name, it means masculine, feminine, woman. Sometimes I see myself more masculine. Some days I want to fully bind my chest. Fully, like, embrace looking more gruff and rugged and masculine. And some days I want to look super feminine. right now that I'm on my period, I'm feeling the more masculine side. I feel like I want to bind my chest a bit more, which is hilarious and ironic, because I'm going through the most feminine thing, and I'm just like, nah, nah, I don't want this. I don't even want to wear a bra. I want to bind my chest so I don't feel anything. I don't want this to be in the way. I don't want it to exist. Have I been keeping these diamond darts as long as I finish the diamond dart? Yes. Why? Because I can. And it's also because they're so small. Usually if they last way longer, it's because I'm the one getting distracted, or I'm not doing the diamond dart the whole time. Sometimes I'm talking too much. Which I know nobody in my comments will fully complain about it. Also, I had a comment being like, this ain't My Little Pony, this is my autistic pony. I found it so funny. Like, I don't know if this dude thought I was gonna get insulted. This is a child that insulted me, by the way. They look young enough to be a part of Gen Alpha. I don't know if they expected me to be insulted or take it a hard way. No. Do you think I don't fucking insult myself? Also, another person commenting, you make a whole video about haters and then expect not to get them. And I'm like, I'm talking about the process of how to get rid of them or to just not see them by muting words and stuff. And also, I'm not giving them attention because I'm not pointing out a specific hater. Like, I'm not pointing out a specific person. There was this one girl who commented in my comment section with like this beautiful profile picture, and so many people commented on her comment. Oh my god, like, you're such a bitch, but like, why are you so pretty? And immediately it was like, delete. Because she was getting attention. She didn't deserve it. Bitches don't deserve attention. Doesn't matter how pretty you are if you are an ugly person. Personality is where it's at. So I deleted her comment. I wish I could, like, give them a reason I deleted the comment. Because I remember a person from their channel, they gave a reason why they deleted the comment. And why the comment was, like, basically banned. And I wished I could do that. I don't know how to do that yet. I want to figure it out, though, because as soon as I do, let the bullying of the bullies commence. Because I will fight with people on the internet for fun. With no hard feelings, because I feel nothing for you if you do not mean anything to me. You could literally be seen in the news as a murdered victim, and I'd still be like, well, that happens to people. But then again, I also look into murder cases for fun, and it's just like, wow. They have the same thing to say as the average person who gets, like, in this situation. But also, why is it where every single time I've ever seen, like, an interview of a family, after a man commits a murder-suicide, or, like, a woman does, and it's always the same comment of, we did not think anything was wrong. They looked so content and happy. And then this happened. Less so with women, it usually happens with men that you get these comments. And I'm just like, this is what happens when men don't seek fucking help. This is the type of shit that happens. Like, why are you just acting? Maybe fucking think for yourself and take care of yourself. Or seek actual help. Like, I get it. Usually men are not taken seriously in the therapy world. And it is way harder for a man to find a real therapist that will take them seriously than the average woman. But there are people out there that will. I'm not a therapist. As much as I would love to be a therapist right here and now and be able to help people like that, I'm not one. Give me, like, 8 years and a few degrees later. Maybe even longer, honestly. It really depends on how long it takes me to finish school. And at this rate, it's gonna take me fucking forever. Because one, school is expensive, and two, I struggle so hard in elective classes. Like, yes, as soon as I start my psychology courses, I can do them a bit faster, because I can do 2 at a time. But electives, no. Wow, my energy just declined so quickly. But my friend, she immediately was like, you know, the fact that you're filming so much and so long, your emotions have deteriorated and you've been looking more depressed. And I'm like, the only difference is probably my energy level. I've always felt the same way. I actually wrote a full paper on men's mental health and how things like suicide rates and murder-suicide rates increase because of the lack of men seeking mental health. And this was based off of a murder-suicide that happened within my state. And how I recognized the exact words from every single person in that, like, interview about how they thought he was happy and he had a good life. Why did he do this? And while you don't know what's happening behind closed doors, people only let you know as much as they want you to know. I won't let people know my middle name. I don't like my middle name, and I don't go by it. I don't use it. So it, as far as anyone's concerned, it does not exist. Which kind of hurts my grandmother and my mom's feelings, because it was the same name as a family member. But I'm like, I did not want this. My mom chose my name because she was spiritually told what my name was. She said she heard them say, this must be her name. And that's how she chose my name. That is how she decided exactly what my name was. She said she heard it. Was told to her what my name was. Ain't everybody gonna get the story like that from their parent, but like, mine did. She was like, I heard that I needed to call you this. This is gonna be a slightly longer video. Are they using orange soda to make orange chicken? I feel so offended at that. I don't even like oranges like that. There was a point in time where I couldn't even be in the same room as an orange or smell it without getting a full-blown migraine. But now I can be in the same room and eat them, so I'm fine again. But for a full year, my body was just like, nope, that's a migraine. If you overdo it with, like, something that you like, your body will tell you that you can't eat it at all. Or at least in my case, that's true. I don't know if that does it, I don't know if that happens to anyone else, or if I'm alone in that. But there was, a long period in my childhood where I'd only ever eat oranges because it was my favorite fruit. I grew up, loved oranges. That was the one thing I would always have. And then immediately after, I was just like, no, I can't have oranges. It makes me ill. And so for a full year, I was just sad because I remembered oranges being delicious. And they just started giving me migraines. The one, like, kind of food that I do actually know how to cook without any, like, recipe is usually, stir fries. Because I can just make anything into a stir fry. I just throw in random sauces, I throw in random vegetables, and it always comes out pretty good. It's kind of one of the only foods where my dad's eaten it and not insulted it. So if I were to make my friend's food, it would probably be a stir fry. 'Cause I know I can't fuck that up. Being a passenger princess apparently runs in my family because my dad likes to be a passenger princess, I like to be a passenger princess, my brother likes to be a passenger princess. We can all drive perfectly fine, but we hate to. We prefer other people driving. I had to personally cancel some appointments of mine because of the fact that my schedule completely changed. That is blue. I think it takes me about the same time to do all of these. The only thing that really makes the times vary on these videos is how distracted I am. We'll see if I actually focus on the last one, if I can do it even faster. Let's be honest here. I probably could. No. That's a Z. Oh my god, why is she chopping garlic like that? Why are they so close to the blade of the knife? You're supposed to angle the knife away from your fingers. Oh, the dumb bitch. Okay, so I finished this one. Peace, love, have a good night, my fab fans, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!